So we've known since the start that this show was going to be a two-course split up into two different seasons. So Dead Mound Deathplay is returning this October. No big surprise, but what is a bit of a surprise is how good this show actually turned out to be. Now, anyone who looked into the author beforehand was probably expecting things, especially when he got the author of Boughton working on this. However, it still has surpassed so many expectations that I've had, and leaving episode 12 has me convinced no one is ready, other than people who know of the source material, of course, of what type of peak is incoming. And this comes from someone who doesn't read the source material, but I can tell this second half is about to not only surpass what we've experienced over the past 3 months, but probably blow our mind 10 times over. I mean, it's pretty crazy that we almost had every perspective that we started to come into contact with over the course of this season, all at one specific location, and we still don't understand mysteries like the firebugs, exactly what they are. We don't know exactly why information or ideas or powers maybe come to and from potentially two worlds. Are they one world? I'm still thinking they're two worlds, but there's a whole bag of worms that you could open up there and really start exploring. But all I can say is that after leaving these 12 episodes, this is the type of like sequel bait, that hook that has you thinking about this show for the next 3 months. This isn't going to be one of those shows where, yeah, when I take a look at the fall chart, I'll be reminded Dead Mount's coming back. No. Even throughout watching this next anime season, this summer season, I'm going to be foaming at the mouth waiting for more, and I am convinced everything we experience in this first half is going to seem small in comparison now that the mystery and all the setup seemingly is over, and that setup was really engaging content, so I'm excited to see what they do is all I'm saying. Now, full live reaction to episode 12 is available on my Patreon if you do want to see my full uncut thoughts as I watch this very exciting final episode. It was pretty insane. Now, I wasn't expecting as much content as we got from his original world, especially given that like half of the content we saw there wasn't even like in the traditional flashback style storytelling. Rather, we get to see talking tree woman and busty necromancy goddess here, and honestly, man, I was really excited, and immediately when I saw the world, I just thought to myself, I could probably have 30 episodes just focusing on this world on top of 30 episodes just focusing on the seemingly normal Earth. But it's interesting, right, because we do end this episode with a pretty big moment of not only did we capture a firebug seemingly, now do I think she's going to give up any information that's going to be useful? Probably not. Either she's going to be a very small fish in the bigger pond, or she's just not going to say anything. Though it's nice that we did at least get somewhere here, as we have the invisible hands, and just, man, if anyone who played Tears of the Kingdom, you immediately recognize those hands, is all I'm saying. It felt like we were getting some gloom hands all over us, and it was animated really well, but it was fun because it wasn't just a simple one-on-one duel, like when Lemmings jumps into the middle of that, and they like throw daggers into his back. He brushes them off like it's nothing, gets electrocuted. You're thinking, what the hell is he? Is he a corpse? Is he an animated corpse? Is he a zombie? Is he a monster? At this point, I'm just waiting. At some point, the bandages are gonna come off of Lemming's face, and he's gonna have like a baby face. It's just not even gonna be horrifying. It's just gonna be like something adorable and funny, and we're not gonna be able to take him seriously as he acts like a serial killer just walking towards us. Like, seriously, Lemmings and his power level, even after being tied up pretty much near the end of this episode, he's still powering through. They have this like really funny moment where basically like Solitaire's looking at him like, hey, was that you? And he's just shaking his head no, and he's like, wait, was it you? Wasn't me. I'm dipping. This shit be crazy too much now. But I like the fact that you have the mystery of the firebugs. You have the mystery of like when he's talking on the phone at the beginning of this episode, he's dropping names, he's dropping locations, and of course he's wondering like, yeah, they could be lying, but it almost feels like they don't know what the hell he's dropping. Like there's clearly something happening. I'm going to assume Polk, our corpse god who's now in Polka's body, isn't the first person to come from Fantasyland to here. That seems likely, but I don't think the firebugs are from his world. I feel like this is like a situation where like, I don't know, think of all the cultist-like activities that we hear about, or just like the weird groups who study things that are supernatural, and you know, they think there's a lot more going on in our own world. It kind of feels like one of those situations, but they actually struck gold and are investigating things and know of things because whether maybe he's not the first person to come here, maybe he's spreading knowledge, or maybe it's one of those situations where rather than it being like a simple like, okay, well, we know our boy was in the middle of his deathbed and then he basically summoned himself again, right? What if it's one of those situations where the two worlds potentially are connected, and like just things sometimes come to, like maybe it's just ideas or books or something, I don't know, but it has you thinking, right? Because who is friend and who is foe? Of course we know in our general building who we can trust overall. Obviously some are waiting to stab us in the back. But in terms of the firebugs, in terms of course, his family member who's sending in lemmings, like there's a lot of uncertainty, and I'm not sure why people are guarding these secrets, what people want to do with said secrets, but most importantly, what our corpse god will do if anyone is defiling the legacy of things he cares about from his own world, because at the end of the day, he does use corpse god necromancy, and while he definitely has a pretty kind heart, all things considered, for a corpse god, there is moments, especially in the intro of this episode, that has you saying, if you cross him, if you defile the things that he cares about from his original world, I feel like you're gonna be 6 feet under, if not 1,000 feet under. And that's kind of the vibe it was getting. And while there's a lot of humor in this episode, I mean, one of the funniest jokes in this episode, which maybe wasn't supposed to be a joke, but it's hard not to laugh, is when that one cop is standing there talking to the fire safety's girl, and he's like, it's not raining, and she has a raincoat. This is suspicious. And I'm like, bruh. Like, sometimes what these characters deadass say has me rolling. But that's the charm of this author's work, is you have a ridiculously large supporting cast, and you're just in it for the ride. The thing that's really interesting is that despite being 12 episodes into this show, thinking at the start of the show, I have a good idea of what they're trying to say. Fantasy world dude dies, goes to a modern world where there's some elements of mana, he's able to utilize it for necromancy. That's pretty easy to digest, but pretty much right after episode 1, it rips the rug from under us, we fall on our ass and say, actually, is this the same world? Is one side past and present? Are we going the route of fantasy world is the future and modern Japan is the past, or are we going fantasy world was the past and modern Japan is the future? Or are these actually two separate worlds? Are they parallel worlds? Are they mirrors of what could have been in an alternate reality? I don't know. I really, really don't. It's very rare for a world to have you second guessing almost everything about what is actually happening on screen, especially given how normal a majority of the locations actually look. But it's really fascinating, and this is why this could easily become my new favorite work from the author if we not only continue to get more episodes well past the next 12. So if we get another season, I think they're labeling it a second season if I'm looking at the end of this episode with the teaser, but we'll just call it Core 2 for now, right? Like, if they keep making more cores going forward, I don't see why this couldn't surpass Bhuwanake, why this couldn't surpass Darara for me. Like, I love both, but this world, I really think might be this author's most fascinating, hands down. Either way, I leave this show obviously quite excited for more, and I'd love to know what everyone thought of either this last episode or this first half as a whole, because maybe you agree with me, you think, damn, this shit is absolutely wild and thought-provoking, or maybe you just didn't really click with it just like I did. Let me know what you're feeling though, and if you're excited for Core 2 in October, and if you want me to cover it when it does release, let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more videos, including more Dead Mount Deathplay in a few months. And hey, I do have a Patreon. All live reactions for all 12 episodes are there, and while you're there, you'll also get a video shoutout. So today we have Sheriff Yosef, Ryan Rodnar, and Rory Winkles. I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.